So Trump just announced a 25% tariff on the EU, the European Union. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. If you guys did not see the news, the overall market, both S&P 500 and the NASDAQ market, really began to take a shift out of nowhere. And this was just moments after Trump announced that he was going to impose a 25% tariff on the European Union. For those that didn't see, let me go ahead and show you. There's numerous articles out there. I would encourage you to not just listen to the news, but actually try to learn more about what is being said. It says US President Trump announced that he is planning to hit goods made in European Union with tariffs of 25%. We'll be announcing it very soon. He told reporters with an appearance with the members of the cabinets that it will be 25 generally speaking, and that will be on cars and other things. Now, I don't know if he's just bluffing in effort to try to spark some form of negotiation, but I want to remind you two things. First, he originally did postpone the initial 25% tariffs that he announced to both Mexico and to Canada. If you guys remember that, let me show you. If you don't remember that, let me show you this very quickly. On the 4-hour time frame, you could see that all of a sudden the markets were trading at 530, which is QQQ. And then once this was announced over the weekend, the markets opened incredibly red, but then quickly recovered. Well, why did they recover? I'm actually not sure if this was the DeepSeek, but nonetheless, it was 2 weeks in a row that the market retraced. One was DeepSeek, which was the AI, kind of like the China-based AI, which ended up, I guess, being a fluke. And then the second was the tariffs that were initially offered to both Canada and to Mexico, and then they were postponed. But then now recently we heard that they're actually going to be moved forward with as soon as March 4th, if I'm not mistaken. Now this trade war or this tariff news is beginning to present itself again, and the market is reacting in a negative way. I want to remind you, if it is postponed, get ready for markets to recover. If it continues, as you shouldn't really be surprised. That's the part that really catches me off guard, is the market got ahead of itself. And trust me, I know I might sound like a broken record, especially if you've watched my videos numerous times before, but when Trump was voted into office, everyone knew that the markets were at all-time highs. Everyone knew that inflation wasn't going down any further. And everyone knew that we had a huge debt crisis. And if we wanted to do anything about this, if we want to implement these tariffs to try to actually get us out of this debt, to maybe subsidize what we're paying in federal income tax, there's going to be short-term pain for long-term gain. Now, I'm not here to say that his tariff approach is going to work. All I'm saying is that it looks like he's going to be trying it out, and it looks like it's obviously, in the short term at least, going to have a negative impact. That shouldn't surprise you. You might be saying, well, Ricky, then why were the markets going up? The markets always get ahead of themselves. This is why they call the stock market a leading market, a leading indicator, because it often likes to forecast things in advance, and then later it retraces because they weren't as expected. Right? This is why, kind of like Nvidia today. Nvidia reported amazing earnings, if you guys did not see. Nvidia reported earnings after the market closed. And it's very unfortunate because all of this was kind of clouded with the idea of this trade war. It initially pushed up to highs of 135 and has given it all back. We'll see how they continue to trade later throughout the week, but as of right now, it's not looking very good for Nvidia or the rest of the market because things are looking a little bit more bearish in the short term. But you have to understand why. There's this idea of the trade war where Trump is negotiating tariffs with other countries to, again, put us in a better position is the goal. You don't have to agree with him. You just have to understand that that is a lever that he is going to continue to use and use for negotiation. This is something that he's made very clear. So it might bother you, but you have to understand that this is the reality that we're living in, and this is why we must work with it. If the tariff is postponed, then understand that then markets will most likely react in a positive way, because obviously what was originally forecasted were the tariffs, markets sold off, and then when the tariffs are removed, the markets begin to recover. So it might seem like a roller coaster of emotion, but if you're working with the flow of the market, it's never going to be perfect, but at least you understand the why. And that's at least the best position that we can put ourselves in. I do want to show you guys very quickly the 3 most impressive trades that I took today, starting off with number 1, and that is my short on HIMS. I'm going to pull it up on the 5-minute time frame. I walked away away with 13.4K on the day from overall highs of $44 to overall lows of $40. I absolutely killed it. And then it found its support and then began to recover. And I did go long on it for a little bit, but I closed my trades every single day. So I'm not carrying this position overnight. As you can see, I left myself with my one lucky share. I not only announced this to my LPP team, but I also posted it on my Instagram, which is linked down below if you don't follow me. Another small trade that I took was a quick little short on PLTR. This one was relatively pretty small. At the same time, I took my short on HIMS. It was overbought. I love trading overbought reversals. I opened up a short position with shares. I don't trade options. And then as it became oversold, I ended up covering. The same thing with MSTR. It became overbought. And as Bitcoin began selling off due to this tariff news, then of course MSTR also followed, walking away with a little bit over $3,600 on the day. The thing that I love about this is that a lot of people are trying to figure out what exactly they should be doing. I would say that any positions that you take moving forward should be positions that you are mindful of your position size. There are going to be a lot of opportunities that are going to present themselves if the market continues to sell off, and money can be made shorting, but shorting isn't for everyone. Some of you guys maybe might just want to prepare to buy the dip, but you have to have cash on the sidelines. And this is why you have to be very critical with when you intend to buy and making sure you don't buy too much too early on. I'm super excited to follow up and to keep you guys up to date. Again, every trade I took today when it came down to my HIMS short, I announced it to my LPP team. So if you want the ability to watch me trade live and also get access to all of my trade updates, the goal is, again, not for you to copy the trades that I take, but to simply understand my trade plan and why I'm taking it. And if you like the way that I express and break down a message to make it easier to understand, then I think that you'll resonate very well with the LPP lesson library that's, of course, designed for complete beginners. I hope that it earned a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.